Hey YouTube. Today I would like to talk about the animals' roles in Ascension. So, animals obviously work through instinct and not mind. So, we actually can learn quite a lot from them in this process of Ascension as well, even though we're shifting out of a more, say, like animal-based consciousness into a more angelic-based consciousness. There's still like aspects of the animal's way of flowing through life that are applicable to us as we become the new human, the angelic template that we're designed to be. Light. So animals, they flow. They follow this, I would almost say, um it's like they follow the flow of energy. They follow this like natural grid of life. They know where to go for water, they know where to go for food. Just like as us as humans, we know we know and we are shifting into where to gain sustenance from. So this to me is leading into the idea of eating from the tree of life or eating from the tree of separation. And this is turning a little bit into biblical, so I'm just going with it. Um, they say that Eve ate the apple, which was an act of sin. Sin, in from my understanding, simply means separation. See, when we are evolving and stay on that path of evolution, we're not eating as much food. There's gnats. That's what I'm like swatting away, by the way. We're not eating as much food because we're living more from life force itself. Although there is life force in food, and food is very enjoyable to eat. It's not like we need the food to eat. It's not like we need the food to live. So animals and us, as we're evolving, understand where to get life and food from. Although animals are still foraging and maybe receiving food from humans, people are are evolving into a way of simply um, receiving life and sustenance from God. So this is a process, right? And a decision and discipline, and it's as long as like we're listening and we're following that natural flow of life, not holding on so much to past ways of being, past ways of eating, then we're flowing like the animals flow, but we're doing it in a way of well, I'll just say higher consciousness. So as we're evolving, right? You might not eat food anymore. You might eat a lot less food. You might sun gaze for energy and wisdom. And that's the way that like animals flow too. They just do what naturally they do it without resistance, most likely, because they, from my understanding, don't have the thinking mind. And like humans can um, hold on to old ideas of self more than I would say animals would. So it's this interesting kind of middle point between like animal and angelic as we move along this river of life, this new flowing way of existing, and take what was beneficial from the old way of being more animalistic, which is, in my opinion, that flow. But that flow is also really increased as we become more angelic as well, as long as we're able to and dedicated to and committed to letting go of the old ways. That flow comes more naturally and more easily. So that flow becoming more natural and more easy happens like when we're just very centered and present as the light that we are, and like understand that we're fully capable of letting go of the old ways of being, of letting go of the old ideas of self, of letting go of basically everything. So I'd say the animal's role in ascension is, well, they have their own ascension, right? They have their own evolution of consciousness into greater and greater love and awareness. I mean, think of the word evolution. It almost has the word love in it. And that's what I feel like ascension and evolution actually is just actually coming into greater and greater capacity of love. Animals have a lot to teach us, especially the birds. Especially the birds. Birds are really, really interesting beings. So are the cats, like the big cats. I like working with the birds and the big cats. I really like working with Owl to do shadow work, to really dive into whatever subconscious programming that needs to be brought up to the surface in order to become healed. I really like working with Hummingbird too, especially in the morning when I'm doing my practices, my Qigong. Hummingbird is obviously a very vibratory animal. It just like goes all the time. It's a very heart-based animal. And I like working with Hummingbird in the morning because I feel like it really like kind of just resets the day with the morning sun and helps to shift anything that needs to be shifted. I really like working with, also I like working with Hawk. Um, I like working with Hawk to just like clear the energy out. I like working with Eagle when it comes to asking for assistance to see a higher perspective. And I like working with Jaguar when I'm doing more like spiritual shamanic work. So I share what I like doing in hopes that perhaps it will pass these tools along to whoever is listening to this. These are all tools that I use. These are all friends that I work with. And they want to be known, like they want to be shared within humanity. So that's what I'm doing with these videos, is just basically sharing my processes and putting myself out there, what I'm doing, in hopes that if somebody else is seeking assistance when it comes to this really great work, that I can assist in this way. That gives me chills. So the animal's role. Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm going to share. So thanks.